Welcome, welcome, welcome. And while I was just flashing back, a song came to my mind. You guys don't know I'm a recorded artist. By the way, I put on so many hats. So this particular song I think I composed should have been 18 years ago that says that that finally that night turns into day and the glory of the Lord is displayed as your life triumphs and and the tears go away. And I just remembered the vivid scripture that we all read and say that the tears may endure for a night but joy comes in the morning. It's so easy to just mention it in the hustle and bustle of the day when you are in church, but when it comes to your personal life, when you're going through the valley of shadow of death, when you're going through the testing and the storms, you never remember to say, oh, these are the tears, this is the night, then the morning will come. You never remember that. But here we are to share these stories that will encourage you and will stir you up to have hope that there is a tomorrow and tomorrow can be better than today. So welcome, welcome. I love the family that we have created. And today we have the beautiful, beautiful Birunji. Birunji. Yeah, we get to delve into her story, her life. You know, when you see a beautiful person, you're always thinking, Rosie, 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 she has had it, so good. And so you're like, batugamba kibalabika bulungi, naye tebakoma ku ekyo Katonda alina by'atuyisizaamu ate tuli wano to give that testimony and to be able to give another person hope. So welcome.
My goodness. Thank you, Hilda.
It's such an honor to have you here.
Absolutely. I can't believe I'm on Bahati. I remember being here when it was being launched. So seeing how much you guys have done.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you guys. Well done, team.
Thank you. Oh, it's been amazing. The team has been working tirelessly. It's quite a stretch, but God has been faithful. The testimonies that we are receiving about the people whose lives have been changing, and it's just amazing. We don't do these things in vain. At least you of all people know that when you serve God, it's never in vain. That there's always one soul out there. It might not be the multitude, but one soul out there. And so when I knew that I'm going to be with you, I also braced myself. I was like, yeah, I like this.
Thank you.
The devil
so
is going
much.
to cry so much.
We'll ask for water. Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor as well to
How
be here
have you
and
been?
to be able. I'm blessed. Other than this heat.
But heat has nothing on you. You don't change. You're always beautiful,
Sunscreen.
always sunscreen.
Sunscreen. There is a lot the whole time I was on the web. Like, no, not the sun.
I don't want any pigmentation
no,
here. No.
Do you know it can last?
It
like
does.
6 months.
It does. And taking it away it is a problem. But coming in, it's so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, other than that, I'm really great, just working here and there. Yeah, but I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. God has been doing amazing things, definitely. The growth that we never get to share with people, and what part of what we want to share about your personal story. I want us to be able to go back. I don't know where you're going to start us from. That is going to be at your discretion. But I want us to be able to go to those places where you think, okay, I mean, if it were up to me, I think that I would have been stuck in that chapter of my life. I think God just fast forward my life and took me somewhere else. But I think that was a rough patch in my life. And I just didn't think I would survive that.
Absolutely. Like I told you, I started feeling so anxious just thinking that I was going to share this story, because I told God when I survived that period of my life that I would give a testimony.
Don't we all? We make promises that we have we have no intentions of fulfilling. In that moment, you're speaking out of pain.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Hoping, maybe thinking he will forget or something. But actually, towards like this, throughout my life, I've just been trying to tell a person or two here and there that, oh, this is what I went through, but I had never shared on such a big platform, and to you as well. So it's a big deal. But I think my story, I would entitle it as a woman's prayer.
A woman's prayer.
Yes, a woman's prayer. And I can only say that that woman was not me.
Wow.
So I'll go all the way back to 2017. Hilda, in 2017, I hit rock bottom. I had just graduated. Shortly before I graduated, I met the gentleman. We fell in love.
Swept each other off.
No, he swept me because I think I was more like, how do they call those women? Trophy wife. Yeah, he was so proud to have me going with me everywhere. And at that time, I was working at Channel 44, but I had not yet graduated. Yeah. So later on, I get engaged to this man, and that is the kind of life any girl, that is what we are prepared for. Go to school, graduate, get
like
a
you're
job.
hitting the milestones.
Yes.
You're checking the boxes.
Everything just seemed to be just going the right way. Get the job, get the man, get married, have babies.
Yeah.
Just as beautiful as yours. So, and all went well all the way until, I can't quite remember the month, but I know that we were getting ready for our Mikolo.
Okay.
We're getting ready for Amikolo, and what I've forgotten to tell you, he took me off TV. It was like, I do not want the attention you're getting from men. I do not think I'm okay as your man
to share you
to
with
see
other
that
people.
Yeah, men. I think even where he worked, different people used to tell him, "Oh, your girl," or things like
she's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, so it's like, no, get off TV. So the deal was, I get off TV, but you're getting me a business. Or something, but I'm not sitting. I'm not built that way. So he started trying out to start for me different businesses, but whichever venture he tried, he came and told me, you know what, when I went to buy that shop, I saw very many men that park there. I do not think I'll be okay with that. So that refused. He wanted, like, very many, because he was rich. So very many things he tried to get me here and there, but it all came
something
down
always
to the same. Came up. But mostly
men will see
the
you.
jealous thing. Yes, men will see you. So when we broke up, he broke it off the phones.
Don't rush us. Don't rush us. we are here for all of it.
Yeah.
We are here for all of it. But so you get this guy before graduation.
Yes.
And he takes you off TV because you're already working.
Yes,
before
I was
graduation.
already working. Yes.
And he decides to look for businesses. He still gives you the same excuses.
Yes.
So at this point, you've not yet graduated.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we had not yet
So
graduated.
the breakup happens before graduation or after graduation?
Before graduation.
Okay.
But I'm glad you've taken me back. So we settled on me working with him in his business.
Okay.
And he was to pay me. Yeah. So I think by this point, I had worked with him for like a month or two.
Okay.
Then I realized that he was having issues. Not really issues. I think he was having issues at work, but when we left work, we were not staying together. He had gotten me an apartment, but outside work, he wasn't himself.
Okay.
And as a young girl with this rich man, I do not have any money. What do I bring? What do I tell him? Or just zifuna manyichi. I didn't know a lot about the business. I'm just young. So I didn't know how to support him.
But he owned the business?
Yes, he owned.
Okay.
He owned the business. So I just
Did
didn't
he pay
know.
you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he used to pay me. So I reached out to a male friend who was married, and I told him, I need advice. How do I go about this? He's like, okay, come, let's meet up. So when we met up, we talked here and there. He gave me a few things to do and how to cheer him up. And unbeknownst to me, I was being followed.
Okay.
So when I got home, came straight for my phone, checked, I had sent, thank you for the night, things like that. So it could just be misunderstood. What do you mean, thank you for the night?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, and there was dear or love or, you know, girls, how we, oh, thanks dear, thanks love. So I think there was something like, oh, thank you, my love. Thank you for the night, something like that. And that is how he called it off. This was shortly before graduation, probably 2 weeks before graduation, and then a month to my kuchala. Yeah.
So he just dumps it on you like that.
Yeah, and of course we were having issues here and there, but it came down to him saying, you know what, on take a pressure, like I'm on pressure to guard you, and I'm always constantly wondering if someone is going to take you and snatch you. I can't live like this. So with this,
That's what he said.
yeah, I can't live like this. So with this, I think I should call this off. So,
And that's the very day you had gone to work with him?
that day, no, it must have been like a weekend.
A weekend.
Yeah.
So you're getting wisdom to help him.
Yes.
You're getting counsel to help him.
Yes.
And he thinks otherwise.
Yes.
Okay.
After looking through my phone. And now that is really where my story starts from. Because I was here, remember you're with a rich guy, you're in these apartments, you've been working, you've been this, and then all of a sudden, I'm nowhere. Hilda, when I was with this person, there was nothing about me in the relationship. Everything I thought about was
him.
Yeah, him. How do I make him better? How do I make this better? How do I grow this? How it was him. And it's not like he even made me do it. That's how I just found myself. I felt like I had a lot to compensate for. So it was constantly him. Whenever I saw a building, I'm like, I hope he can build that one day. I hope he can buy that one day. There was nothing like I, Stella, can buy
do that.
one day. Yeah. So at the point of when we broke up, he fired me over the phone. He's like, I don't want to ever see you near my company, near my family. I don't want to see you anywhere. So I think I had worked for like 2 weeks within that month. And then I'm like, I told Salagwa, Stella, with everything I've done for you, you have the nerve
To even ask for that.
even ask for Stella. You know what? Come. Come get it tomorrow. Let them give you this amount. From after that, I do not want to ever see you again.
Okay.
So remember, I was going for graduation. I needed that money to clear up gowns, what, and everything. Just to say, I had nothing. I had nothing in my account. I had no dream. I had left TV. And the way I left was really one of those things where you show you're unserious. So even when I tried to go back,
No one would.
Yeah, no producer would give me the time because they're like,
This
it's
is
not
how
like,
you played with a chance.
yeah, it's not like you are official to come and say, hey, this is happening, I'm moving. It was just a sweet, nothing. So I had to go home. I couldn't afford the apartment, of course. So I went home. I remember I wanted to commit suicide. And I went out, bought poison.
That's before your graduation? Or that's after you've graduated?
That's after now.
Okay, so
That
you've
is-
bought your gown with like a small money, and now life is down to zero.
Life is down to zero. And during graduation, you know, I kept up like a happy
brave
face.
face.
Yes, because I'm thinking probably when I kneel hard enough, he will forgive me. So I even told him they've thrown me a dinner, please come. He did not show up. So the whole time I was hoping
That
that he
something
would
would change.
Yes, that he would come. And when he did not, it just occurred to me that this was actually
was it.
done. Yeah. So I remember after looking around, I do not have hope. I don't have a dream. I don't know what next for my life. I went out and bought poison. So, you know, I've always told God, Mukama, don't twala, make sure auntie, so even this time around, I first cleaned my home very well, put
The same
everything
girl that
in
wants
place.
to take the poison?
Yes, because akaolamba tekaina kuswala. So I had to make sure that when people come,
The place is sparkling
hey,
clean.
okay, she was clean. This is good. But oh my gosh, someone is jumping over clothes and what. So I cleaned up, rearranged myself, and then I started like, I was crying hysterically. Hilda, I couldn't hold it. Hilda, I've never felt that much pain. And you know, I can tell you right now, the heartbreak was hard, but not knowing who I was, because everything was about that
The man. Yeah.
So when he went away,
Your life revolved
around. So when that was taken away, I didn't
The void and the
know.
emptiness.
Yes, it was so much. I really, really didn't know who I was at that point. So,
like you don't know how to breathe
Yeah.
without someone.
so I was getting ready to take the poison. I fell asleep. I think because I was crying
After
so hard.
cleaning your apartment.
Yes, and I'm crying. You know, the whole time you be crying. And then
Tebakasanga nga bachimya akalambo.
yeah. So after crying, I fell asleep. I don't even know how. But when I woke up, I don't know if I had this in the dream or after I woke up. I had one thing: go back home.
Okay.
Go back home. And at this point, my relationship with my mom was not, it was non-existent, if I may say. She was my mom, I respected her, but there was never a thing like mom and daughter. There was never a time I had called my mom and just share anything personal. No, it was respect, mom, daughter, full stop. So for me to be vulnerable
In order of birth,
enough,
where do you belong?
I'm the last born with my biological parents.
Okay.
But they passed on, and my aunt, Mama Ngomto, took
She's
me.
the one who took you.
Yes,
Okay.
and now...
So she's the one with
Yes.
whom the relationship was tainted,
Yes.
was not existing. Okay.
Yes. So, but from now on, I'm going to be referring her to my mom because
Yes,
that's
yes,
what
yes.
I call her. So there was no relationship. But I remember going, of course, with my tail between my legs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
shaking.
yeah, Mom, Saba Koma Waka. She's like, come.
Wow.
Yeah, it took a lot. You know,
I
when
know,
you don't,
I know.
you're not close like that.
You have to swallow your ego, you have to
Yes.
swallow your pride, you have to.
Yes, I told her, Mom, Saba Koma Waka. She's like, come. I went home, packed my stuff. I went back to my apartment, packed up my stuff, and went home.
Ah, kana kalambo. Clearly tekaswala. Tekalinda. But so you go back to your clean apartment.
Yeah.
Squeaky clean.
Squeaky
now
clean.
You have
now it's time to pack it all up and go home. I packed up my stuff, went home, but that...
What was growing on through your mind? Because I want us to take back the journey, definitely even go through the relationship, just to unpack the feelings and the emotions, because that's what messes us up most of the times. The actions mess us up, but the emotions that are involved, by the time you say, I was entangled in this web, and I felt like I couldn't disentangle myself out of it. Like we were one and the same, and I felt I couldn't survive on my own. And there's something that you mentioned. We will come back to this where we are right now, but let's start from behind. That he used to be the kind who was very insecure about you being exposed to other people.
Yes.
So it was it from the onset of the relationship? Like, did you ever see that as, you're like, it's an issue, but as a young girl, you're like, Anjagala?
Exactly. It never occurred to me that it was an issue. At that point in time, no.
Oh, he loves me.
Yeah, he loves me. And he truly treated me as a princess and a queen. So there was never Nalisitoma. And who are you going to tell when you're crying? Well, I never used to cook. Remember, I stay alone. So he just picks me after work. He picks me, we go to dinner to these top hotels. So why exactly are you crying?
I know.
Why are you complaining? So really, it was never an issue, except where I felt uncomfortable. I used to come from church, going for shootings and all, or even service, and I come back to questions of, who is that guy you are talking to? Who is that? So from the onset, he had showed me that he was following me. Yeah, at least, okay, there was someone following me.
But still, you thought it was out of love. He's protecting me because he loves me.
Right. Okay. And I remember even after we broke up, I kept on looking over my shoulder thinking...
He was following you.
Yeah, maybe there's still someone following me because I think he still loves me, or because I was still in denial. I'm like, maybe...
So I don't want to do anything bad. I must calculate my steps.
I was on good behavior. I'm like, just in case I'm being caught up on camera or anything. Because there was a time I was even showed a pic. Who is this? Yes.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy? Why were you hugging? You say you're going to church. Why are you doing this thing? Yeah. So
And apart from that, there was nothing else that was alarming. Or everything else was a normal young girl in a relationship with someone. There was nothing else alarming.
Nothing, because even
there's
when
no
he
day
was,
you didn't feel loved or you didn't feel like, yeah, everything was good.
Yes, I was number one, made clear of it. And also, he was about 10 years older, but there was no baby mama drama. It seemed,
Good.
yeah, it seemed to be good. So I went home. And when I got home, it was now me and the world. And because I could not figure it out, I got into this deep hole, Hilda, this dark place. I could not get out of bed. I couldn't manage. I couldn't carry my body out. I just kept curtains drawn. I didn't clean up after myself. I didn't eat. I was crying, sleeping, where I have like a small energy, get up, go to TV. But throughout that time, my mom used to knock on my door. Birungizukuka, webuze, like 6:30.
Had you told her what had happened?
Yes, at this point I had. 6:30, webuze, jangu, tambula. Like, yes, weze muamani, but it wasn't working. Kept on telling them, actually, simu mutwali, jangu olye mmere. Birungi nkuga jangu olye mmere. And of course, so I had to do that. But one of the biggest things that I remember during that time, Hilda, the one day that I don't seem to forget, I had been crying the whole night. So this morning when my mom came to wake me up, I was still crying, and I told her, Mama, mutima gunuma. Ha! Hilda, my mom held me for the first, an African mom. My mom held me and she prayed.
Wow.
And you know, even till now, she keeps on praying. Like whenever we are with family, she's praying and she mentions names. And she doesn't know, but that's really a love language. But Hilda being held with my mom that day.
And you told her?
Yeah, and I told her, Mom, mutima gunuma. I was dying. And she couldn't say anything. She just prayed. And so slowly by slowly, I started going to church, just taking a day at a time. I went to my Facebook. Facebook was big by then. I contacted every single friend of mine. I'm like, guys, I'm looking for a job. Anything. Anything.
To keep me busy.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, Spirit is one of the places that I went to, but by that time it was just radio. And so many friends were connecting me, go here, go here, go here. Hey, do you know Spirit? I'm like, no. There's a gentleman, Uncle Tim, he's my friend, and I remember going. But honestly, when I look back then, entering that, I came with so much desperacy. You get, I was young and desperate, and I can do anything. And things like that. And every single door that I knocked on during that period was a no.
Wow.
Every single door. And for those of you who are in media, or if you're a young person pursuing media, one of the worst things you ever hear is you are good.
Yeah.
But like you are actually made for TV, but they don't give you the opportunity.
Yeah.
So those are all the things I went through. And now, after the nose, you know what you do? You go back to the hole. You're like, this is not working.
The windows anymore.
So that is the whole of 2017. So towards the end, I met that same friend connected me to another lady who had a circle. She was running a circle. I started working there, and I was earning 2K.
Now, every day?
Yes. Now, this is me who stays on Entebbe Road.
Yeah.
This job is in Mengo. So I used to walk one way, because 2K was for lunch. So I used to walk one way. So I used to get from home to town. Then I walk from town to Mengo, where the job was. And then in the evening, walk back again and then take a taxi. And all throughout that, I did not even hope for anything better. The whole time is Lunorembala.
Like a day goes.
Yes, Lunorembala. Thank God I have something keeping me busy. But again, I had sent out several messages
to different people.
Yeah, to different people. So one of the other people came through. This is January of 2018. You know, before that, when we were entering the year, I had no
resolutions.
Resolutions.
I have prayer requests.
God, do this for me. This is the plan. This is the goal. I had none of that. It was just, I'm here. I've arrived in 2018.
I'm alive.
But within that first week of January, I have a very good friend called Grace. She actually did my makeup. Grace told me, Stella, I want you to be intentional while you pray. Go back and find that girl. What do you want to do? Who is Stella?
Yeah.
If God says, what is in your hands? Where is it? What do you have? Okay. Yeah. So, but I took her words to heart. I started thinking back to all the times I was happy. Who am I?
Yeah.
So
what was going on?
A lot of unpacking. Yes, a lot of unpacking, because I had to first go back to school. Did I study this? I had studied media. Did I study this because of the points, or this is what I want? This is what I wanted. Okay, now, okay. So I had to build several things. So I told God, I have 3 interests. Travel, food, media. Mukama wonna wonzisawo. I will thrive. I will thrive because I love all those 3. And I prayed. Kwanga the other one told me, be specific. I want you to put everything on paper. I told God, I want to earn. Now, I will not tell you the amount, but let me say it's over 500K. I want to be earning over 500K. I want to be given NSSF. I want to be given medical for this new job I'm praying for. I want to be given lunch. I prayed for things. But Hilda, let's be honest. At that point, remember, all I had was a diploma in media. And then the job that I had, you know, media of those ends, and it's not to speak ill, but no one got over 500K at that point in time. And then also the other thing, and it's just, what are you talking about?
I know.
So honestly, I prayed, but this is impossible. All you have is a diploma to your name. So towards the end of Jan, this gentleman gets in touch. He's like, my friend, like, oh, you sent me a message that you wanted a job. There's this thing that I've seen. Go and check it out. And it was in tourism. Now, Hilda, you know, I said I wanted travel.
I know.
But technically, I did not study travel. And in your mind, you'll be thinking travel means I'll be traveling around the
just
world.
Flying.
Yeah, and then you help here and there. So getting into the tourism space was interesting because I was in the interview and I did not know the difference between a gorilla and a chimpanzee. That is how bad I was when it came to tourism. So I got to this interview, but I gave it my own. Let me tell you, Hilda, you opened that door. And I'm so not scared of no's that I have,
like whatever happens
I have
next,
done. Yes, it's okay because I don't want to wonder what if I tried. So for me, just give me that small space. But I gave it my whole. I think I fought for my life in that interview.
Wow.
So there were 2 ladies. They said, okay, so towards the end of the interview, the lady tells me, but yesterday you came as though you're entitled. I'm like, but so I was so polite. I'm like, I don't know how I may have come off that way, but indeed, I have nothing to show off about. I just really need to work and I need to be given the opportunity. But I know where the issue came from. I came wearing shades. So shades just... So what can I mean? Your shades.
You're beautiful. I told her deco shades.
Yeah. So a week later, I'm called back for another interview. And this was a surprise because...
With the same panel or of the lady?
No.
Okay.
Now...
A different one.
Now, the same ladies, but now the boss is joining them.
Okay.
So, initially, we were 8 the other time. We were 8 girls. So, this time around, I get there. I was the first to get there, and it was with one boy. So I'm like, okay, on listening to the boy, he's like, you know, I'm just coming from Kidepo National Park. I'm what?
Experience.
This one is experience, Panage. So I remember just saying, you know what, let me give it my best, but I know where it's going, so I won't even...
No expectations.
Yeah, so I won't fight a lot. So the whole interview, truly we went through the same questions, and then they gave me a computer. So I remember they asked me something about the computer, and I'm like, I know what everyone knows, but I can learn. It's not like it's too much. I can learn. So I was giving it really probably the bare minimum because I'm thinking it's
no
already
chance.
it's already gone. So when I got out of the interview, I called the gentleman who had connected me, Eric Ntalo, and I told him, you know what, I do not think they'll call me, but well, I've done. It's like, okay, let's look for another opportunity. Thank you for giving it your best. We'll see what we can do. So I go, and another week goes by. Yes, goes by. And then, Hilda, I was in that 2K office this morning.
Footing day and evening.
Right? I get a call. Am I speaking to Bironji Stella? I'm like, yes. I just wanted to let you know that you've gotten the job.
How does that feel?
What God can't do
does not exist.
It doesn't. Whenever I think about that particular moment, I go back and I'm like, it doesn't matter what will come my way. I hope that I will remember that God was there for me then. But the story does not end there. So I was called in. So it was towards the end of Feb. Remember, Feb has like 28 days. But then the boss was about to travel. So I was told to come in way earlier, probably the last week of Feb. So when I went there, this is what he says. We are so honored to have you join our team. We shall train you, blah, 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 blah. Now your salary, because since we are going to train you and things like that. You remember, zilize nasaba mukama. Na yongerako 10. Let me just put it this way. Nali nengiza kukakadde. And he's like, tusonyiwe. Enkumi bbiri, sorry. Zentambulira. So, it's like, but there's always room to grow, and then, of course, we shall always be increasing. And then the man went on, what? I'm just looking at him, and the whole time I'm thinking, you don't know what I prayed for. When I got out of the office, I just went to the bathroom. I'm like, yes, you guys. For real. Right now, I have been working at that office for 6 years.
Wow.
And I'm now at the level of a senior sales consultant.
Wow.
I went in without knowing the difference between a chimp and a gorilla. I went in still broken.
Barely in faith.
Still broken, because the whole time when I was down crying in my bed, I never prayed. But Hilda, my mom prayed for me day and night.
Prayer of a woman.
That is it. Day and night. She raised my name. Every now and then she came to my room, held my hand, and prayed for me.
Wow.
Where I couldn't. God gathered different people. My sister and the husband and my brother-in-law, they also prayed with me. I used that is it. So just having them hold me, pray with me. Yes, and without anyone judging you on any mistake you may have done in the relationship, whether you caused it or not. It was just being held. But Hilda, I've never felt so held by God.
Wow. Like
The
in those
way
moments.
I felt in those moments. And guess what? I wasn't even praying. But the people
You were
God
surrounded
put, yes,
by love
by love, that kind
and
of
prayer.
love. Hilda, years later, my ex phoned me. And he could not believe the girl he phoned. Nange kenyini, I couldn't believe. Because I had dreams. I knew now I want to travel the world.
Wow.
I want to speak to nations. I want to be able to honor God, to tell, as long as I have breath, I want to be able to say, Jesus is Lord.
Yeah.
I am who I
You
am.
knew
Yes,
why you were
I knew.
created, why you're here.
But the other girl,
Just twala tugenda.
but not because I'm ride or die. Because I'm there.
You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're fragile.
It's even safe to say I would be divorced by now. Because what was I? The only thing I had thought about marriage was the wedding.
And giving birth to children.
Yes.
And thinking those would suffice.
Right?
They would hold the marriage
As long
together.
as I have babies, what? And of course business, because we agreed on it. But would it even come? Because at this point there was a lot of vajakula. So he phoned me, and I think for me that is when I can even give the glory that someone who knew me in my past life can say,
Wow.
oh, chose. And I have seen God continue to do things. At that work, I found so many hindrances, of course, because I didn't know. So throughout the learning process...
You're a new person, you're coming in.
Right. You find people who are like, no, we do not have the time to teach you.
This is our territory.
Yes, we don't have the time to teach you. There was a lot. And then at one point, so during COVID, I started my baking business, and then shortly I started at Spirit TV. So in 2021, I was doing the 3 things
that you loved,
that I told God I wanted,
purpose on purpose,
all at the same time. I was in tourism, I was on TV, and I had my own business.
Indeed,
what
God cannot do.
But this is something I prayed in 2018, Mazagama in 2017, Mazagama, and what? At one point, everything had lined
worked
up.
out for you, for the good of those that love the Lord. Wow, what an amazing journey. What an amazing journey.
And it's still going.
I know, it's still going and it's still getting better.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are in those in-between places where you kept bouncing back to the dark hole that you actually mentioned. And I just want us to be able to extract some lessons or some of the things that you learned even in the hardest of those moments, that when you find a girl that Birunji, that didn't know what she wanted in life, that when, because you can see them.
Yeah.
Right now, after going through that, when you look at such a girl, even when they are 30, you can tell them that they're still at the crossroad.
Yes.
What would you want to tell to that girl? What would you want to pass on?
I think, let me just put it to the young Stella who is crying.
Buried in tears.
Yeah. You cry yourself to sleep right now. And heartbreaks are really bad.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, not knowing myself, not having a dream, for me, now that I'm here, I could say it was the hardest part about that place of my life. And what I want to tell you is that God is a father. Then I couldn't pray, but he was there.
He loved you.
He
regardless.
had my heart. Throw it, if not get that support system, someone go away, like yes, and you can just say, I'm dying. Hilda, I was dying, for lack of a better word. I was really, really dying.
That's a pain where you feel someone is pulling out your heart.
Yes. Pulling.
You're not going to survive to see tomorrow.
Nothing.
Like,
yeah. So for me, if I could tell that young Stella anything, it is lean on to the people that God has put in your life. But also don't wait to pray in tongues. Don't wait when you are strong enough in those tears. Just call on to God. You people, what God can do in your weakest moment, you can't even know. And you need it. That's the thing. You need to be there to grow. Because if you don't, you're going to be waiting for that man to deliver you. You're going to be waiting in your house for a miracle to happen.
A Prince Charming.
Yeah, to carry, to find money and pick it up, to find an easy way out. But you've got to go through the process.
Yeah.
What my life has taught me, really, that this journey that I'm still going, it's a process. And your journey is not going to be like anyone's. Honestly, don't even take my word for it. Just take a shot on yourself and see. Yeah. Because there are people who get married at 25. There was a point when all my friends had gotten married, and now there I was. Toina mulimu, toina relationship. Oli heartbroken, tomaina jolaga. Pakubuza, toina, you have nothing. And yet, here I am now, that right now I'm at a place of my life where I can say, I want to travel next week. And as long as I have leave, I can go.
I know who I am.
Yes.
And I know whose I am.
That one.
I know.
I think that's the most important. Because once you know, and you know, several times, especially when it comes to relationship, you try to fix it. Like when I was trying, you do everything in your power.
Like your life counts on it.
Yes. You only go back to God gachiganye.
I know.
Because by the time you go, you're weak, you're tired,
you're weary.
You're stressed. Yes.
You've given up.
Experience is bad, by the way. I do not believe in experience being the best teacher, because
it sharpens us.
Yeah, I know. Hilda, you get there. By the time you get your person, na ya kuwanirira bwaneze because ensi ekusikambudde, you get. And yet I don't think it should even be that way. That if we went back to the author of our lives and asked God, do I take this? Do I do this? Help me here, guide me. I think we don't have to go.
God knows.
You're trying to survive. It's too bad.
I know. But again, here, where you are and where you are headed, the words that you say carry a lot of weight. They carry a lot of meaning. And maybe not to you, but to the person. To that girl, that if ever there was a Stella this age that had survived through all those things and was thriving and maybe had mentioned one or two things, but you know that Stella does not listen?
No.
That Stella is on her tiptoes.
Yeah, she knows it all.
She's going. The wind is taking her, and she's everywhere. So I think, for me, I get the knowledge in God wanting to take us through those places so he can grow us, so he can establish us. Because when he talks about establishment, I think he says it in his word that he will take us out of the pit of the muddy clay, and then he will plant our feet on a solid ground and establish us. But you realize that even if your feet are put on a solid ground, when you are still the other the other girl, the wind will toss you around.
It will be a mess.
Yeah, it will be a mess. But afterwards, when he establishes you with experiments and experiences and things that you have gone through, I feel like you become so solid.
Yes.
Like you become so strong that a time comes, by the way, what you talked about, that when eventually you get into yours, by the way, you will not be shaken. You will not be the one saying, "Bana imonkwati today." No, you'll be the one that says, "You know what, tujachita."
Yes.
You'll be the one that says, "You know what, we are good." Yeah, we might not be trending, going viral, but we are good.
We are good.
We have what it takes and stuff like that. So, you get to bump into him.
Yeah.
After some time.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Because emotions are liars. There is a way you first zoom into the first person you were before you come back to who you are right now.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm a better person right now. And how did that feel?
I knew it. Mani, it's one thing to feel. It's another to know.
Yeah.
I knew I was better. I knew that if anything had gone on then, I knew he wasn't the person. I knew I wasn't actually.
You knew that?
I knew I wasn't the person.
Okay.
Because during this time, I had to go through it. I was young, Hilda. I was really young. Right from campus, you've never been exposed to Liba Lokole. I had just come from home. There's nothing major you've ever gone through. And it's not like I'm saying, guys, get out of home. But for me, in my own journey, I was just young.
Yeah. And the exposure was too soon.
Yes. So I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what marriage was. Of course, then I can say that I loved him according to what I thought love was. But I was not selfless. I was not ready to go pray for someone. I wasn't ready to
build a home.
Yes, to build a home and everything that it takes.
To build prayer altars.
Right? The sacrifice, the prayer actually that goes down. I wasn't ready for any of that. All I knew, I will wear a gown. We shall have many people at the wedding.
The biggest gown ever.
Yes. And then what? I had never thought about that then what. So for me, honestly, Hilda, the thing about going through that dark point is that when you come out, actually when you are dealing, because healing is a process.
It's a journey.
Yeah, because even when I got the job, it doesn't mean, okay, everything now you're set to go.
Now you have the money, but the heart is still rolling.
Yes. Every now and then you think back, oh my God, what do I do? So I had to go back. My mistakes is mistake. I blame myself. I hate myself. I hate him.
So you blamed yourself.
Of course.
For the end.
Of course. I'm like, if I was a good person, because everyone would tell you, he was a Protestant. He has his own business. That is it. That is. So I kept on blaming myself. And of course, even the shame that came from the fact that people at home knew I was bringing someone. But now the embarrassment of going through that it's no longer happening. The good thing with me, guys, it's happening. No, even when because we got engaged in Nairobi, I did not post anywhere. We came back. I was quiet about it because I wanted it to first happen, and we wanted my graduation to first end, and then I can.
He even flew you to Nairobi.
Yeah, we went to Nairobi for that.
For an engagement.
Yeah. So, but everything I kept it just under wraps. So. Again, the people who had noticed, she has a ring, okay. Because within that period, my sister's wedding, we had my sister's wedding, he came, he was there, so my family knew him.
He's the guy.
She went there, Stella, we do not have to wait. Now you can imagine the things. But now, I know I'm supposed to be here. By the way, I struggle a lot with seasons. Like that is something I've been struggling a lot with because I love love, Hilda. And of course,
you look like you love love.
I love.
All the time I have known you, I have known you love love.
I love love. I truly do. Like love. All the novels, you get the novel love that you know, but also the real love, the one that actually needs you to do the work. I love it.
But now that we are talking about the love, can we talk about that? Can we get into it? We need the whole tea.
Did you hear the point of Sirala?
They should naturally deny Chabidi.
God has brought someone.
So wow.
I know Chazimba. So yeah, Kagira Azimba.
That's beautiful. It's okay. But that's a huge testimony.
It is.
It's a huge testimony.
Because I know now I'm ready to be a wife, and I know I'm going to
be an amazing wife.
The happiest man. Because I'm ready. I've gone through the healing, the ups and downs of it all. Yeah, I'm ready for him.
Wow.
I went there.
Praise the Lord. God is good. God is good. I love how he crowns up. I think one of my status on WhatsApp for the longest time, I think since 2017, has been God never ends the story until he brings the glory.
Amen.
And that's his ending. That's his ending. That whatever he predestined for you, he will bring it in its right timing. And sometimes the right things don't make a lot of noise.
Yes.
they don't feel like butterflies sometimes.
No.
Like there's a whole lot of settledness,
Yes.
and calmness and maturity, and sometimes you even begin to doubt and wonder abalalanga baslayinga
Right.
bino ebyaffe bisirise birekange bitatambula. And I mean, God just shows you that this is who I am and this is what I want.
I'm glad you've talked about butterflies, because at one point I was like, I want butterflies, and then you remember what the butterflies brought. You're like,
I know as young girls we love the butterflies, but I think I prefer the settledness and the calmness.
Yeah.
I prefer the friendship,
Someone who has
and the
also done the
candidness.
work.
Exactly. Someone who has gone through the process
Yeah.
as well. Someone who has also a bit of fears.
Yeah.
And you come with your own fears. You have a bit of doubts, but again you are sure about what you're getting into. So that whole mixture for me, it's a mixture of maturity.
Yeah.
And many times God is in it. I'm not saying that God is not in the butterflies, but I think I love to hear the silent butterflies more than the rapid butterflies that are somersaulting everywhere.
Calmness is truly from God. The peace, that thing when mutima tegukutiamuka every time someone walks in. I agree with you. And of course, I've been listening to some of the things you've been saying. And I remember there's one thing you said about a man who knows what they want and making it clear. From the get-go, he said, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Bobo Chazanya, you can tell me so that, but this is what I want. Are you right there with me? I'm just hearing those things. And of course, even with time when you get challenges, but someone is still saying, hey, this is the goal.
This is what
and
I
want to do it with you. It's not easy, but I truly thank God. Yeah, I truly thank God. And my mom has really been there with me, my sister, my brother-in-law, my family.
I want us to just get into that. I know that we are wrapping up. Time is never enough.
Yeah.
But mom, because at some point you get to say, okay, we don't have that much of a solid relationship. And this is the person that is hugging you and holding you
And
telling
praying.
you come home.
Yeah.
And praying for you.
Yeah.
As in, God positions people.
By the way, I'm so glad you said that. I think I went through what I went through so that God could correct my relationship with my mom.
Wow.
If I hadn't gone home, Hilda went. Because then after the apartment, you go into marriage and then that's it. But me going back home helped my relationship with my mom. And I think it's now maybe the most important thing. Because Hilda, there is nothing. Yesterday I was telling my mom, what's wrong in our spirit go interview? Genda, go give it your... And you see, I needed that. Hilda, I see how you be with your mom. I see how different people be with their mom. Lady Bizo, you see how she is all... Yes, but when she's with her mom, she's like a little girl. I never used to have that. And when you lose your parents quite young, and God blesses you with another mother figure, father figure, that is a blessing. Yes, all the way, through everything. You know, even in your dirtiest and darkest places, and you're able to open up and say, Mom, this is it. Yeah. Wow. So I thank you for taking me back, because I think that's what I wanted to say.
That's a
that
beautiful story.
I went through that for the relation, the connection between me and my mom. Because
you need it.
I did.
You need it.
I
like
do.
Every girl needs that.
Yes.
That when you give birth somewhere and someone is like, you know, I know she's going through this.
Yes.
I know her tears. I know her pains. I can hold it down for her.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, we can never have enough time. I feel like we need to have extensions of this.
Yeah, we do.
Of this, because I know there's so many people that are getting lost in relationships these days. I know people have lost themselves. I know people have lost their sense of their dreams, their plans.
Yeah.
Like they literally don't know who they are, and they just need to come back to the foundation, which is God. The foundation, the true foundation, which is God, so he can be able to redirect you. When he says that trust in the Lord with all your heart and he will direct your path, lean not on your own understanding, because so many of us lean on our own understanding. But I think in your own words, you have re-emphasized it and emphasized it that I mean, I was in my own understanding.
Yes.
Back, that Stella was in my own understanding.
Yes.
This Stella, however, wants to function in the perfect will of God.
Yes.
And nothing is taking me out of that, and I'm willing to hold that with all my life. So we are praying over you and covering you in the blood of Jesus, that God will guide your footsteps, that He will hold your hand, that He will take you to places that He envisioned and He predestined for you, that before your paths were woven together in the sacred places, He knew you. He knew the journey you would walk. He knew the processes. He knew the tears you would incur. And He knew the price that you would have to pay. But He says He will not end this story without bringing His glory in your life. We love you. Bless you.